UFC Kansas City. How we doing, everybody? My name is Young Pasty, aka the White Boy Wonder, and I'm here today to give you a pick and a prediction for every single fight on the card coming up this weekend. And I'll say it's a solid follow-up to UFC 314. Thank you, UFC. We got a bunch of bangers on this card. I mean, the main event itself, Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates. Giga versus David Onama. We got Blackshear back. I mean, some young prospects coming up to prove something. I'm super excited for this card, actually. Now, as we always do, though, got to break down last week, UFC 314. And, we ended up on the positive side, right? 7-6 on the picks. I'll just admit it and say it right now. I went a little too dog heavy on the prelims. I just saw a path to victory for all of them. They just, either got beat the F up, Darren Elkins and Cedricus Dumas, or their plan was ineffective. Mitch Raposo, I thought, he was some good wrestler. It was ineffective, Any takedown he got, straight back up, Sumadarji got. So, I'm not going to complain. 7-6 on the picks. We could have done a little better. The Sean Woodson fight, though, what the heck, guys? It was a terrible stoppage to begin with. He was literally on his way up to his feet, all there, cognate. And the ref called the fight. And secondly, they rubbed salt in the wound after that and say Dan Ige was up 2-0 on all the judges' scorecards. Like, come on now. No. Okay? No. Gene Silva, we all saw that happening. Yair Rodriguez showed, UFC's better than Bellator. Paddy Pimblett put on a show. Is he a contender? We'll see. One of my favorites, though. And Diego Lopez just couldn't get the job done. He had a moment, but didn't have enough time to work with it. On the prelims, Marco Tulio, nice KO. Nora Coronel, good submission. Anyway, we end up 7-6 on the picks. It's positive. 93-61 overall for the year. So let's keep the good momentum rolling, right? If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button, like the video, comment, share the video to your friends. Support goes a long way. And secondly, guys, get in on the Patreon. It's free. Links in the description. That's where you get all my bets when I place them, because the odds always sway in the opposite way. And you'll see a couple of examples on there already, right? Odds are going crazy this week. But let's get into it, guys. UFC, Kansas City. The main event. Super excited for this. We got Ian Machado Garry, the future, versus Carlos Prates, the nightmare. Odds on the fight, we have -135 for Ian Garry now. Odds are going up. +114 for Carlos Prates. Ian Garry was sitting at -125 for a solid week. Jumping up a little bit here. My pick for the fight is going to be Ian Garry. Give me Ian Garry. Give me the future. And this was very, very tough for me to actually pinpoint, because I've actually never picked against either of these guys. I picked Ian Garry to win over Shavkat. He almost pulled off that submission. And you can't say he didn't put up a great fight. So, he won 2 rounds on the scorecards. So, now, Carlos Prates. This is, I would say is similar to Shavkat in a sense of they get a bunch of early finishes. Carlos Prates generally by knockout. But, again, I've never picked against either of these guys, so that's why it was so hard for me to pick somebody. But I picked Ian Garry, and I lean Ian Garry, and I say this because my dude's fought better competition in the UFC compared to Carlos Prates, right? Much better competition. Shavkat, Michael Venom Page, Jeff Neal Magny. I think Neil Magny is Carlos Prates' most notable win at this point. And that happened almost 2 years ago for Ian Garry. Ian Garry's very active too, by the way. And everyone's going to be like, oh, well, Carlos Prates knocked Neil Magny out, and Ian Garry went to decision with him. You know what? Unanimous decision. It was a beatdown, first off, right? And then we're going, Zhang, come on now. Charles Radke, Trevin Giles. The competition difference, we got to give it to Ian Garry. He's fighting much better competition. And I lean him also because he has decent striking. People are underrating his striking, and he mixes in the grappling and wrestling very well. And we've never seen Carlos Prates actually taken down or anything like that at all, because he always keeps distance and usually knocks people out with his awesome striking. But we saw Ian Garry handle the unorthodox, weird distance striking of Michael Venom Page and still won. Right? Carlos Prates is going to be more calculated with those power shots, but I think Ian Garry can take this 5 rounds, 4 or 5 rounds. Maybe you'll get a late round finish in 4 or 5. I just think Ian Garry is going to take Carlos Prates to deep waters, man. Excuse me. The subs are live. Ian Garry's very patient. He went 5 rounds with Shavkat, and showed he has great cardio. Yes, he's taken this fight on short notice, and yes, he has been chinned and knocked at times. But he mixes in all parts of fighting to get the win. It was really hard for me to pick against Carlos Prates. I mean, the dude is one of the fighting nerds. They're undefeated in the UFC, but I think this, and yes, I'm predicting it, and this is the week it happens, guys. The fighting nerds are going to take an L. Carlos Prates, this is your nightmare, and you don't even see it yet. Okay? We got the future. Give me Ian Garry. By decision, could get a late round knockout in 4 or 5 too. But let's see what the people on Tapology have to say. Excuse me. All right, we have 56% of people picking Ian Machado Garry. Most people say by decision. The people on the Prates side are obviously on the knockout. 88% of people. Carlos Prates, yeah. So is it live? Definitely. But the fact that Shavkat couldn't knock out Ian Garry, any of those guys that he's kind of gone up against, I think Ian Garry has a pretty good chin. So, hey, great main event. Super great main event. Super excited for it. We move on to our co-main event. And it's a little less exciting. I think they're giving Anthony Smith some credit here for his longevity in the UFC, his dedication, being a company man, and getting a co-main for his retirement fight. We have Anthony Smith, Lionheart versus Mingyang Zhang, the Mountain Tiger. Odds on the fight, we have plus 380 for Anthony Smith and minus 500 for Mingyang Zhang. Is it Mingyang Zhang or Zhang Mingyang? I've seen it both ways. I've been calling him Zhang. Anyway, my pick for this fight. I mean, how can I pick Anthony Smith? There's no way. I gotta pick Zhang Mingyang. Mingyang Zhang. However it's pronounced. That's how I feel about Anthony Smith. I feel sick about picking him. Yeah, there's no way I could ever do it. He's just been unmotivated, unfocused. I mean, look, he's doing like press conferences and things for the UFC. Like, I mean, dude, you should be focused in camp fighting every single day. You shouldn't be going to events and what. Like, no, we're not. We shouldn't be doing that. All right. You're not to that level, like where you can, go and mess around and do side gigs and then come back and fight. No, you have to be all in and fighting at this point. He is a fraud checker, right? Anthony Smith is a fraud checker, but I don't think Zhang Mingyang is going to get fraud checked here. Now, my gosh, we've seen Anthony Smith gone up against, in a multitude of, different types of fighters in the UFC, and Zhang Mingyang only has 2 fights in, right? Yes, they're by knockout, but these guys are scrubs. Brinson Rivero and Ozzy Diaz. I mean, come on now. On the other hand, Anthony Smith, I mean, yes, he fraud checked Vitor Petrino, but he would have, got handled if he didn't get that guillotine in. Then gets a split decision win over Ryan Spann. That's dang near 2 years ago, man. And then getting knocked out by Khalil Roundtree, getting beat up by Dolidze, getting knocked out by Dominic Reyes, and this guy was literally begging to get knocked out in his last fight. Right? He's just hittable. He's old. He has okay striking, right? He's been there, done that in the UFC. He can pull off some sneaky subs as we've seen. But dude, Zhang Mingyang has that KO power, man. He has that KO power. All right. One thing I am concerned about is the wrestling. Okay, Zhang Mingyang, we haven't seen him tested in the wrestling here in the UFC, honestly. He's usually calm and composed in the octagon. He's usually the one pressuring. We'll see Anthony Smith on the back feet for sure. He takes his time. He can be hit. Zhang Mingyang can be hit. But Anthony Smith can win this fight by maybe wrestling, getting some dirty clinch work on the fence, making it a gritty, dirty fight, and taking it all 3 rounds. But no, that's not going to happen, man. That's not going to happen. Dominic Reyes knocked you out. Zhang Mingyang is next, all right? Zhang Mingyang by knockout. Minus 500 is crazy. The fraud checking aspect of this is there. I don't know if this is something I would necessarily put any money on at all. But Zhang Mingyang is the pick by knockout. What do the people on Tapology have to say with me? Wow. 94% of people on Zhang. Most say by KO. Anthony Smith sitting at 6% of people. Most are saying by submission. Okay, that is possible. But man, Anthony Smith's just washed at this point, dude. He's chinny. He's unmotivated. He's unfocused. He's begging to get knocked out in his last fight. Are you really there to fight? Is this how you want to go out, man? A knockout by a young prospect? Yeah, we have Zhang Mingyang by knockout. The only way I bet on Anthony Smith if this number gets absurd. Then at that point, I might have to bet Anthony Smith. But there's no way I could. The pick's Zhang Mingyang. I'm not picking Anthony Smith. I'm not. Who is? 6% of the world. Oh, I guess Tapology says. Anyway, we move on. We're moving on. Solid main event fight. Giga Chikadze, the ninja, versus David Onama, the silent assassin. Odds on the fight, we have plus 150 for Chikadze, minus 180 for David Onama. My pick for this fight is going to be David Onama. I will give credit where it's due. Giga Chikadze has more UFC experience and has great kicks and a decent jab. But I don't like that he's inactive. He fights once a year. He's kind of on the older side. He's hittable. He's stiff at times. And he has run away. Literally run away from people in fights. Like Michael Chandler running away. I am not picking somebody who runs away from people in the octagon. Okay? Not a good look. David Onama, primarily a striker, has some decent power and some nice stinging shots. He does tend to be on the back foot. We'll see who wins this pressure battle. I do think Giga Chikadze will, starting off with some volume on the kicks. One thing David Onama can't let happen to him. He can't get overwhelmed. And we saw it in this last fight here versus Roberto Romero. He dropped the first round, right? We saw that if he gets overwhelmed and pressured too much, and it's not the fight that he likes. He doesn't like it, and he gets overwhelmed, starts eating shots, and gets discomposed. And yeah, Giga Chikadze, make the fight dirty, get in there, clinch up, throw some shots he doesn't like, get in his way, put it on the fence. That might be a way to deter David Onama, because he kind of likes to keep the range, put those stinging shots in. He has a good jab. As I said, it keeps his distance off from his opponents quite frequently. He's just good at pulling himself out of sus spots. Honestly, in all his fights, he's always been kind of like, oh, he got caught with a big shot. Or he got taken down, but he can get back up, and he can recover from that big shot and get back and deliver his own. He has nice little sprawls and scrambles. His combos are nice. He has nice little combos and good counters. He really has to look out for these kicks from Giga Chikadze, man, because if he eats that leg up, the movement on David Onama, then he'll become stiff. Giga Chikadze will just kind of, put the work on from there. He is a UFC vet. I think he has fought better competition. But man, the fact that you're fighting once a year, you're super hittable, You're super. I just. You have great kicks, KO power, and a good jab. That's all I can give you. David Onama, I think, has more solid striking. And as long as he doesn't get overwhelmed, we got David Onama by decision. What does everyone else have to say? Oh, 6 years younger, too. Dang. Yeah, that's why I said a little bit older, but I mean, 36, and you're not, like, terribly, too old. Wow. Most people on the Chikadze side, most people on the underdog here, they say Chikadze by decision. I'm on the Onama side. Give me David Onama by decision. I think he gets the job done. I wouldn't put it against you or be mad at you. I see a path to victory for Giga Chikadze again. He could overwhelm David Onama. His leg kicks are great. I think he could, if he puts on a vet kind of classy fight, he could win. But I think David Onama is a better kind of striker and kickboxer than Chikadze at this point. Definitely more quicker, right? Definitely more quick and speedier. So we got David Onama by decision. And we move on to the next fight. Give me a little sip of soda. Pop. This is a good one. This is a freaking good one, guys. Excuse me. We have Michel Periera, the Demoledor, versus Abus Magomedov. Odds on the fight now, minus 142 for Michel, plus 120 for Abus. My pick for this fight is going to be Abus Magomedov. Give me the OV, all right? Look at the reach advantage. 5 inches. You'll see it in there. He's much more taller than Michel here. I know it only says 6'2", versus 6'1", but you'll see it, man. He's more longer and lengthier than Michel is. Now, I pick Abus Magomedov because I think he'll be able to weather the crazy storm of Michel Periera and whatever the hell he does in the first round and then put on in the second and third round. He may drop the first round, right? Or maybe the first 3 minutes. But at that point, Michel will begin to calm down. He'll start to lose all his energy, kind of gas out. His gas tank's been awful, guys. It has been absolutely awful. I mean, we really saw it exposed in that Fluffy fight. It was so bad. It was almost 2 minutes in, he was tired, right? Abus can't get bullied in this fight, all right? If he gets bullied or he gets finished in the first round, that'll be it for him, all right? He can't let that crazy stuff get to him. These guys are both experienced fighters, right? They have lots of fights in their career. I mean, 31-12 and 27-6 and 1. That's lots of fights in their professional careers. We've seen Abus Magomedov improve in his fights after his 2 losses, which are coming against good competition, Sean Strickland and Kaio. Okay. They fed him a scrub here, and then beat a Bruno Ferreira who has knockout power and honestly isn't similar to Michel, but has knockout power of Michel. Michel Pereira's a crazy guy, right? He does wild, crazy shit in the octagon. He does spins, he does flips, he fucking screams, he come at you like a wild man. He's wild and unorthodox, but he will lose a straight-up kickboxing match. Abus Magomedov will put him to class there, okay? Abus can mix in the wrestling and the grappling. He's nice on the fence. Could take him down even. We've seen Abus do that with Bruno Ferreira and get this up. Michel has more fights in the UFC. Michel needs to make this his fight to win, right? He needs to do his crazy stuff in the first round and get it done. Otherwise, Abus is going to take him to school, take him to class. Mr. Magomedov going to give Michel Pereira an F in his class because that's where he's taking him to his class. He's going to teach him a lesson. Abus Magomedov by decision is my pick, or maybe even a freaking late round KO or sub. Honestly, I think Michel went 5 rounds with Fluffy, so I give him credit where it's due there. So I don't, Fluffy has knockout power and subs too. I don't think Abus is going to be able to finish Michel. So I got Abus by decision. Give me the underdog. First underdog of the card, man. Ihor Pretoria, like the people he's beating are super experienced. Neither Abus, but these are respectable losses. The Tapology community has Michel Periera by knockout. They think he's going to chin Abus Magomedov. Is it possible? Definitely. For sure. I mean, yes, it's possible. We see Abus get KO by Sean Strickland. Now, there's a lot that went into that fight. But anyway, I was on Sean Strickland's side on that fight, by the way, too. But yeah, I got Abus Magomedov by decision. I thought this would be a lot more closer here, considering that the odds, it's plus 130 here. It's plus 120 now. The odds are shifting, man. I believe this becomes a pick 'em come fight time. Well, yeah, Abus Magomedov by decision. That's the pick. I'm confident with it. He just can't get bullied, and if he weathers the storm in the first round, he will take over in the second and third round. Or honestly, in the later parts of the first round. Michel will gas out. He just can't get caught with anything. Abus can be smart, though. He went up in there with Bruno Ferreira. Okay? So, we move on. We're moving on. Still on the main card, we have two vets, UFC vets going at it. Randy Rude Boy Brown versus Nicolas Dalby, the Danish Dynamite. Odds on the fight, we have minus 238 for Randy Brown and plus 195 for Nicolas Dalby. My pick for this fight is going to be Randy Brown. I tried to pick Nicolas Dalby, and I couldn't. Okay? I just couldn't. Randy Brown, younger, UFC vet, has lots of great fights. Great kickboxer, nice 1-2s, jabs, good striking. Has okay cardio. The third round is meh. And that's really the only thing I could see maybe Nicolas Dalby winning. I think he might be able to take the third round. But Randy Brown is going to pick him apart, keep the distance, put his strikes in, avoid the shots of Nicolas Dalby. The clinch work on the fence, Nicolas Dalby is going to attempt to do. Randy Brown will be able to, flip it back over, push back off the fence. The weird breathing of Nicolas Dalby, he's crazy. It works for him, though. He has great cardio, but he's older. Dude's 40 years old, man. 40 years old. Randy Brown's 6 years younger than here. And Randy Brown's going up against much better competition than Nicolas Dalby is, and coming off a loss to Rinat Fakhretdinov. Some would say Nicolas Dalby won that fight. It was very, very close. I'll give him that. I do think Rinat pulled out the win there, but we've seen Nicolas Dalby chinned at times. He's tough. He's gonna drop the first round. Honestly, if you're looking to bet Nicolas Dalby, just wait till after the first round, or maybe even the second round. That you can way better number on him than what he's at now at plus 195. But Randy Brown is going to at least win the first two rounds. He may drop the third round, but I think he'll be able to get a solid win over Nicolas Dalby. Nicolas Dalby's never been finished in his career, mind you. So, and Randy Brown's no kind of extreme finisher. He does have, stinging shots, nice body shots, good knees, the KO capability, right? He had a great fight with Brian Battle and had him, it was a really good fight. Some could have said Randy Brown could have won that fight. But I got Rude Boy, man. I got Rude Boy in this fight, dude. I could not find a way to pick Nicolas Dalby. I just couldn't. The striking, the distance, the shots. I mean, Rude Boy all day. Randy Brown all day. 3.5 inch reach advantage. He has a little more lengthier, much taller. 6'3" to 5'11". I got Randy Brown, man. Randy Brown by decision. The Tapology people are agreeing with me. 77% of people on Brown. 23% of people on Dalby. This fight is definitely going all three rounds, guys. So, I got Rude Boy. Call me Rude Boy. Next fight. Does he come out to that song? Rude Boy? I don't know. Probably not. All right. Next fight on the card. First fight of the main card in the main event. We have Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz, Sergipano. Odds on the fight are ridiculous. Minus 650 for Ikram now. Plus 470 for Andre Muniz. My pick for the fight will be Ikram Aliskerov. But dang, man. The odds get any wider than this. I might have to throw down on Muniz, dude. I might. We saw Ikram get completely fraud checked by Rob Whittaker. Yes, prior to that, has some nice knockouts, but again, it was a case of went up too quick and too fast. You beat some scrubs, and then you're going up against a UFC vet, top 5 guy, Robert Whittaker. No, you had no chance, man. I fell victim to it. I fell victim to the hype. I thought Ikram could chin Robert Whittaker, but man, it didn't happen. I picked this fight with a grain of salt. I think Ikram Aliskerov can get the knockout. Honestly, if the odds get too wide, dude, I might just put on Muniz. He has decent grappling. He can take people down. He's fraud checked people. He's exposed people who can't wrestle. He's previously ranked. He has good takedowns. He has nice little combos on the feet. He's a tad bit older, and at 35, not really too much older. He's Brazilian. We haven't seen Ikram tested really by some heavy kind of grapplers like this, dude. If he gets a hold of him, I think he takes him down. But Ikram has some serious power, dude. Ikram has some serious freaking power. And it's not out of the question here that he's going to chin Andre Muniz. And that's why I picked Ikram. He also can get a takedown too. He has nasty ground and pounds. Nasty ground and pounds. His striking's a tad bit raw, but he eats leg kicks. Man, the more I say this, the more I want to pick Andre Muniz, but I just can't, man. I just can't. Something in me is just telling him Ikram by KO. What I would say, I don't know. Sometimes they have those double chances. I'd do Ikram by KO or Andre Muniz by decision. Even my Andre Muniz by submission, dude. That's even possible too in this world. But man, Ikram is quick. He's speedy. He can get his own takedowns. He has extreme knockout power. Great ground and pounds. My only problem is you just fought bad competition. So, cardio hasn't been tested. We'll see how this goes. I got Ikram by KO, but Muniz by decision is not out of the question. Wow. 95% of people on Ikram Aliskerov, 5% of people picking Andre Muniz. Man, I don't know, dude. I don't know. This could be one of those fights, man. I don't know. I would not bet Ikram Aliskerov money line whatsoever. Don't even. And he's just that's not a parlay piece. No, sir. Ikram by KO. That's what everyone says. Some say by decision. I don't know about that. We're moving on. We're out of the main card and we're at our featured prelim. We have Matt Danger Schnell versus Jimmy Flick the Brick. Odds on the fight minus 278 for Matt Schnell. And Jimmy Flick sitting at plus 225. My pick for this fight is going to be Matt Schnell. He needs this win, guys. Record doesn't look too good, right? 1-4 in the last 5, but Jimmy Flick is a scrub. Sorry to you, Jimmy Flick. You could beat me up, but not Matt Schnell. Okay? Jimmy Flick is super hittable. He's definitely way smaller than Matt Schnell. I don't think he has any sort of KO power that's a problem to Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell has a chin that has been, been knocked down, be able to get back up and recompose himself. Matt Schnell's striking is okay. He comes in with these little blitzes, has nice little combos. What I see happening is an inside the distance finish for Matt Schnell. I think he gets some ground and pound in, or I think he gets a submission over Jimmy Flick, dude. I think he'll be able to get a takedown easy over this guy. I think this is going to be light work. I think this is going to be light work for Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell used to be ranked. Okay, Jimmy Flick has not seen the level of competition Matt Schnell has seen in any sort of aspect, man. Not any whatsoever, dude. Jimmy Flick is sloppy. He's stiff. He fights with like this little sort of weird kind of hunch. He's usually on the defense because he's getting hit and beat up. He's going to be smaller. There's no way I can pick Jimmy Flick. I don't know why. People are just... I think the odds are like this because Matt Schnell has not looked too good in his past fights, but these are coming against, Cody Durden, Steve Erceg, Matthias Nicolau, and Brandon Royval. Who's Jimmy Flick fighting? Nate Maness, Malcolm Gordon, Alessandro Castro, Charles Johnson, Cody Durden. People are going to do the MMA math and say, oh, Cody Durden, well, he just lost to him and he beat them. Come on now. No, we are not doing that here, dude. Matt Schnell is going to make light work of Jimmy Flick. Okay? Matt Schnell by KO or sub. Man, what would I see here? I got Matt Schnell by KO, dude. Ground and pound. 69% of people picking Matt Schnell. Jimmy Flick, 31% of people picking him. Most say by submission. Nah. Matt Schnell by KO or by sub. That's my call here. Matt Schnell needs this win more than Jimmy Flick does, dude. Matt Schnell needs to stay relevant. Right? He needs this. If he doesn't beat Jimmy Flick, it's going to be tough for him. It is going to be tough for him. So... yeah, we got danger. Danger. And we move on to the next one. We got Evan Elder. What's his nickname? The Phenom. Versus Gage Young. G Money. Odds on the fight. Minus 258 for Evan Elder and plus 210 for Gage Young. Okay, G Money. I like the nickname, but this is not it, dude. This is not your fight. We got Evan Elder. That is my pick for this fight. Now, this is a very short notice fight for Gage Young. 1 week. And this is his UFC debut. Lost on the Contender Series to Killian. I guess I'll give you some credit for going to decision with him. This guy... Gage Young, dude. Yes, he has KO power, but he relies on that one shot. He's always looking for that one kind of shot to end fights. Evan Elder's tough, dude. He has a great chin. So I don't think Gage Young is going to see that KO in this fight here. No, man. Dude, the people he's going up against in this FAC... these records, dude, they're awful. 2-7, 5-5, 6-4. You should see the ones before this. They're literally people with 0 fights. So, he's beating up some scrubs, okay? Let's just say that. They're feeding him some wins. Now you're coming up against real competition in the UFC. Evan Elder has gone up against Preston Parsons, Nazim Sadikov. Now, he was on his way to win this fight. The doctor and the ref called it because he had a pretty nasty cut. I think he still could have gone on to win, put on the fight. They should have gave him a little more time. But anyway, 2 years ago. But coming off 2 nice wins against Valdez and then Darius Flowers here. He's shown he has KO power. He's shown he has nice striking. He has nice little hooks and combos. He mixes in the wrestling and the fence and the clinch work there. Again, he's going to win against Sadikov. He was on his path to victory. The third round was his, dude. The fight and the momentum was flipping. Evan Elder was on his way to a victory there. He's underrated. He's been looking good lately. He's showing improvements in his game every single fight. Tough guy, okay? Gage Young relies on the chin. Not the chin. Gage Young relies on the knockout, okay? And Evan Elder's chin's going to hold up. He's fighting bums. He's unproven. Gage Young is hittable. He's been hit in his fights, dude. He has okay boxing. I'll give him that. But he be eating leg kicks left and right, dude. Everyone. So Evan Elder can take advantage of that. He will get outclassed, dude. This is a welcome to the UFC moment. You didn't win against Killian. They're giving you a short notice fight to get into the UFC, but unfortunately, Evan Elder is going to put on a show here. We got Evan Elder by KO. Second or third round. Evan Elder is the majority pick on Tapology. 88% of people picking Elder. Most say by decision. I'm in this little sliver of 8.9% by KO. 12% of people picking G Money. Half and half on the KO and decision. I don't think he can go 3 rounds with Evan Elder. No. I got Evan Elder, man. Confident pick. We move on. Who's next up in here? Hey, is this fight going to happen? Is this fight going to happen? We have Chris Gutierrez, El Guapo versus John Castaneda, Sexy Mexi. Odds on the fight, -130 for Chris Gutierrez, +110 for Castaneda. My pick for this fight is going to be Chris Gutierrez. I think he is going to keep the distance, use his great kicks, nice jab, not get overwhelmed, use his fence work. I think he's just going to outclass John Castaneda. John Castaneda is a little feisty, dirty mustache striker. He does mix in the wrestling, has a sub over Miles Johns. That's that looks pretty good on the back end of things. But I think he's just going to get picked apart by Chris Gutierrez, man. He's shorter than than Chris Gutierrez, but I believe he has a reach advantage. Chris Gutierrez's arms are pretty small here. I like Factory X Muay Thai. That's a pretty good gym Chris Gutierrez is training out of. He's only losing to elites, Chris Gutierrez is. And John Castaneda, I can't say the same, dude. Right? Daniel Marcos, is he an elite? He's pretty damn good, but I wouldn't say elite. Daniel Santos, is he an elite? He's pretty dang good, but not an elite. We got freaking Pedro Munoz and Song Yadong. These are elite fighters Chris Gutierrez is losing to. I would say they're not on the same level as these guys. And this Pedro Munoz, 2 years ago, you know what I mean, was still tough and a pretty good fighter. I think Daniel Marcos is a little bit better than Pedro Munoz. Okay, I'll give him that. But no, not this Daniel Santos fight. Again, he's just going to get outclassed. John Castaneda, he just can't put it together, man. I just don't think he's going to be able to put it together in this fight. I think his fighter IQ, he's just going to make the bad decisions. He's just going to get frustrated in the octagon. Now, if he overwhelms Chris Gutierrez, maybe that's his path to victory here. But I think, Chris Gutierrez has great distance management. He'll be circling the octagon, has great kicks, nice jabs. I think Castaneda will get definitely frustrated, and you'll see it in the octagon. Chris Gutierrez ain't getting a knockout here. Okay, he couldn't knock out this short notice Quang Lee in 3 days' notice. Maybe he almost lost a round. But I got Chris Gutierrez by decision. Give me the slight favorite sitting at -130. What do we got here? Wow, most people on the Chris Gutierrez side. 85% of people picking Chris Gutierrez. John Castaneda, 15% of people. This fight's definitely going long, dude. Definitely going long. I don't see the... Honest, I said, is this fight going to happen? It's been canceled like 3 times. It's been canceled like 3 different times and rescheduled. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. So, I think Castaneda's been the problem. Anyway, we move on. If the fight even happens. Ooh, we got some more good ones. Yes. He's back. He's one of my favorite fighters here. Damon Blackshear, the Monster, versus Alatengheili, the Mongolian Knight. Odds on the fight here. Let me pull them up because Tapology is never accurate. I'll just say that. We got -440 for Damon Blackshear now and +340 for Alatengheili. Wow. Yeah, my pick for the fight, I just told you. I just kind of just said it before. Damon Blackshear is one of my favorite fighters. I'm going to be picking him again here. yeah, he's going to be putting on a show against Alatengheili. He is going to be huge, much bigger than Alatengheili. You'll see. I'll show you the stats. 5'10 versus 5'5", 72-inch reach for 66. Damon Blackshear, we've seen it, dude, in his past 2 fights. He's been Cody Gibson's a good look. Cody Stammen a good look. These guys, respectable losses, right? Put on against Jose Johnson with a twister sub. Damon Blackshear has great kicks, nice power, elite subs, great in the clinch, awesome takedowns, amazing top control, super active, has the momentum on his side, and he's been beating better competition than Alatengheili. Now, Alatengheili really, man, at least in his last fight versus Rodriguez, he just handled him on the ground and worked him, dude, with some solid, great top control. Now, that's usually not his game. He's usually kind of a striker. I don't like his low arms and his T-Rex kind of build. He's very hittable. He has okay power. He's tough. He has good, boxing up close, but Damon Blackshear's going to be able to keep that range and that distance, and, that's not going to be happening there. There's no dirty boxing or clinching on the side of Alatengheili. He can be caught looking at times because I don't know if he's just tired or too patient. He has pretty good cardio. I'll give him that, but so does Damon Blackshear. He really should mix in the wrestling. If he's able to take down Damon Blackshear, he has solid top control, dude. Solid top control. Now, is Damon Blackshear going to be able to get out of that? Yeah. Okay. But maybe it's something that he could try and implement. I don't freaking know. He's stiff. He's hittable. He eats leg kicks. Dude, Damon Blackshear is going to handle business here, man. Like I said, the odds on Tapology are never right. Minus 345. No, it's minus 440 now. This is going to get even wider. I'm surprised they already jumped this high already. I got Damon Blackshear by, submission? He's been subbing everybody, dude. Give me Damon Blackshear by sub. 96% of people picking Damon Blackshear. Wow, this could be another upset of the night. Alatengheili, 4% of people picking him. Half say by KO, half say by what decision? Most people picking Blackshear are on the submission side, like me. That's just how it's going to be, man. Club and sub kind of thing. Gosh, dude. Damon Blackshear's on another level, man. This is a fight down in competition. What are we doing here? Give him a better fight. I think they're scared from that Montel Jackson fight, which lasted 5 seconds. But yeah, we got one of my favorite fighters here, Damon Blackshear. Give me Da Monster. We move on. Not too much to be said on that fight there. All right. Next fight on the card. We have Cameron Saaiman, a.k.a. MSP, versus Malcolm Wellmaker, the Machine. Odds in the fight, we have minus 125 for Malcolm Wellmaker, plus 105 for Cameron Saaiman. My pick for this fight is going to be Malcolm Wellmaker. And you know why? It's because my girlfriend wrote that he was sexy on here. What is going on? Now, first off, I don't think he looks that sexy, okay? If we're judging based upon looks here, I might give it to Cameron Saaiman. I don't know. But anyway, no, that's not the reason I'm picking him. I think that Cameron Saaiman's not it. I think he's overhyped because he trains with Dricus du Plessis. He's in the same camp as him, same gym as him. I think that's the only reason that the odds are so close here. But something I just learned that I'm not a fan of is that Wellmaker has a full-time job right now. Full-time job. He's like working like a one of the trades. Like he's an electrician or welder or something. I don't know what his exact line of work is, but he's like working a full 40 hours a week and then training UFC at nights. I don't know, man. I don't know if that shows that he's super hungry. I do like that, but I don't know. 40-hour work week. He said if he wins this fight, he wants the $50K bonus to quit and then focus solely on, fighting here. I get it. Is it going to happen, though? I don't know. This is his first UFC fight. He has a little bit of a reach advantage. He has taller. He has nasty KOs and pretty good striking. His boxing is great. Has great leg kicks. Cameron Saaiman be eating leg kicks. But we have not seen him tested with wrestling or takedown defense. He does stay composed, nevertheless. He is going to be way quicker than Cameron Saaiman. Much quicker. Mixes in his feints. Nice little fence works. Again, I don't know about his takedown defense, but he has his, he has mixed in takedowns and feints. And, at least shown he's trying to maybe take somebody down. And we've seen him work in wrestling and jiu-jitsu too. So, but Cameron Saaiman, on the other hand, we've seen him get chinned in the past. He can, he has okay movement. He has nice knees. He's just super hittable. He can't get bullied in this situation, and I think Malcolm Wellmaker is going to bully him. Now, Malcolm's actually 30 years old, 6 years older than Cameron Saaiman. And I don't know, man, that hungry aspect. Dude's working 40 hours a week. Now getting his shot in the UFC, wins on Dana White Contender Series. He's in the UFC now, right? Great counters. Has a submission win, too. That's not out of the question. I just think Cameron Saaiman's overrated. I think they're giving him way too much credit for training with Dreykus here. Yeah, he has 2 wins over who? Terrence Mitchell, who was some bum out of Alaska they picked up out of a bar. And then Mana Martinez. Who the hell is this guy? Like, I just don't see it. I was on the Cameron Saaiman hype train until this Christian Rodriguez fight, dude. And Christian Rodriguez is a prospect killer. He took Cameron Saaiman to deep waters and, ultimately, ended him and by decision. Got, brutalized by Peyton Talbot, who also got fraud check later. But anyway, I could not pick Cameron Saaiman, dude. I could not. My pick for the fight's Malcolm Welker. Give me the machine. Dude's hungry. He wants the KO. He's going to be going for the finish. I got Wellmaker by KO. That's what most people say. 52% of people are saying Wellmaker, and 71% of those people say by KO. 48% of people on the Cameron Saaiman side. 48%. This is almost, that's why maybe the odds show it's dang near pick 'em. I can't pick Cameron Saaiman, dude. We move on. Oh my, fuck these ads. Tapology's selling out. Next fight on the card, ladies going at it. We have Jaqueline Amorim, Jack, versus Polyana Viana, Dama de Ferro. Odds on the fight. Let me pull them up. Let me pull these up. Minus 550, holy moly, for Jaqueline Amorim. Minus 550, and then plus 400 for Polyana. My pick for the fight is going to be Jaqueline Amorim. Let's just make this short, sweet, and simple, guys, okay? Polyana has terrible takedown defense. Jaqueline Amorim is a grappler, Brazilian, super live subs, has great ground and pound and top control. She's super strong, always looking for subs, okay? Tad bit younger and is very composed in the octagon. Now, as long as she doesn't get bullied and overwhelmed and she gets her takedown, Polyana is going to lose this fight. Jaqueline, you are going to win by submission, okay? Polyana is losing to a lot of scrubs here lately, guys. Lots of scrubs. I wouldn't say Jillian Robertson's a scrub, but, these are low-level competition people, man. Yasmin Lucindo and Jillian Robertson. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Polyana. And they are working you. Jillian Robertson is knocking you out. Yasmin Lucindo is submitting you. Okay, you went 3 rounds with Tabitha Ritchie 3 years ago. And then you're beating some no-names. 11-7. Come on now. Her get-up game's bad. Her jiu-jitsu's mid. She's an okay kickboxer. Okay? She's not bad at kickboxing. But, dude, Jaqueline Amorim. Gonna get the takedown easy. I think she just wins it by submission. First or second round. Too easy, dude. Too easy. I love my Brazilians. They're both Brazilian, though. Jaqueline Amorim's on another level, dude. She is just on another level. Yeah, the loss to Sam Hughes was a bad look, but that was 2 years ago. It was a learning lesson, right? She didn't look terrible. She just kind of got exhausted later in the fights because her didn't ultimately get the sub. But man, KO, submission, submission over Vanessa Demopoulos. Not too bad of a look there. But man, give me Jaqueline Amorim. The submission game, the wrestling, the takedowns, they're too good. Polyana is fish out of water here. 93% of people picking Jaqueline Amorim. Most say by submission, 70% by submission, 27.8 by decision. Giving some credit there to Amorim. 7% of people picking Viana, Polyana. Most say by decision. That is her path to victory. Oh, wow. Shoot box. More like shit box. That's a terrible gym, guys. Marco Tullio, yes, he won last week. That's probably their best fighter out of there. Come on now. American Top Team Jaqueline's training out of. Don't even do this to me. Amorim by submission all day. All right, 2 more fights on the card. We got Timmy Cuamba, a.k.a. Twilight, versus Roberto Romero, El Charro Negro. Odds on the fight here, pulling them up now. We have minus 105 for Timmy, minus 115 for Roberto. All right, Roberto is becoming a slight favorite here. My pick for the fight is going to be Roberto Romero, man. I could not pick Timmy Cuamba to save my life. I could not. Do not discredit Roberto Romero's L to David Onama. David Onama is pretty good competition. Short notice fight. Comes in, looks pretty dang good in the UFC. Now he's staying pretty active in this Combat Global. So I give him credit for staying active here. Now Timmy Cuamba got his shot in the UFC, right? Won again on the Contender Series. Gets a fight, tough enough, but the minute he enters the UFC and starts fighting people, really doesn't look that good. Lost to Blackshear by split. Nah. Blackshear took that by easily. Lucas Almeida beat the crap out of him for 3 rounds. His face after the fight looked terrible in pretty much every dang fight that he's lost. And some of his wins too, where he's been chinned and checked and not looked good in moments. Roberto Romero, man, has nasty heavy kicks. Timmy Cuamba's going to eat those. He's not going to check him. He does this little hand fight game. He likes to pressure. He has nice, dirty boxing. He's tough. He's Mexican. The Mexicans got a good chin. He does keep himself hittable at times and exposed when he's, throwing shots and combos. And yes, he went 3 rounds with Onama, but, he showed some cardio issues. It was on short notice, guys. It was on short notice. He showed some cardio issues, but he has a full camp here now, has time to train for this fight. He has really good first rounds, and I like the people with that dog mentality, okay? I didn't see that in Timmy Cuamba at all. He has nice, single shots, right? But he never, puts combos together. He needs more volume. He has bad takedown attempts. They're pretty pitiful, to be honest with you. He does gas at times, and he just, I don't know, he fights like a wimp. I just don't like that. He crumbles. Give me the tough Mexican, Roberto Romero. Give me El Charro Negro. His first win in the UFC. 76% of people picking Roberto Romero. Most say by decision. 24% of people picking Cuamba. I could see Roberto Romero chinning him. That's why 16% of people say that. Roberto Romero, dude. I think he just outgrits him. He's tougher. He wants to fight more. And he has that dog mentality. Timmy Cuamba will crumble. I don't like his fight style. I just don't. Roberto Romero is going to overwhelm him. Give me Roberto. Give me Roberto. We move on to the last fight. We have Chelsea, the first fight of the card. Chelsea Chandler versus Jocelyn Edwards, La Pantera. Odds on the fight plus 165 for Chelsea, minus 205 for Jocelyn Edwards. I'm going with the underdog here, actually. Give me Chelsea Chandler to win this fight. Yeah, I know. I know. Why am I picking Chelsea Chandler? I don't know. I haven't had too much faith in Jocelyn Edwards. Like, okay, you had a good little win over Tractor here. But these 2 losses here looked awful. Awful, man. I just cannot trust her. I just can't. What I think happens here is Chelsea Chandler is going to be able to make it a dirty, nasty, super boring women's fight. Lots of cage work, some praying leg when she gets a takedown. She's going to be a lot more heavier and bigger than Jocelyn Edwards. I think she's got a lot more strength than Jocelyn Edwards. This is a straight up like kickboxing match. I think Jocelyn Edwards is going to be able to keep the distance and win. Chelsea Chandler's striking, and she has little combos, and they're okay, but they're really not that good. Where she thrives is making the fight gritty and boring. Fence work, groundwork, wrestling, praying leg. Like, that's her style. Like, that's the way she can win this fight, man. That's the way she is tough. She's hittable. She's hittable at times. Jocelyn Edwards makes bad decisions in the octagon. She just does, okay? I don't like her fighter IQ whatsoever. I just cannot trust her anymore. I can't. I'm going with the underdog. Give me Chelsea Chandler. Give me Chelsea Chandler by decision. I know I'm going to be on the opposite side here. I cannot pick you, Jocelyn. I can't. I really can't. You've let me down too many times. Yeah. 89% of people picking Jocelyn Edwards, most say by decision. Chelsea Chandler, 11% of people, 90, most say by decision. Yeah, this fight's definitely going to go all 3 rounds. There ain't going to be no damn knockout or submission here. No way. But I say that now and I look like an idiot later, but the over 2.5 will be juiced on the betting lines and will be more than likely to happen. But yeah, Chelsea Chandler by decision, pulling out a gritty, nasty win. So that's it, guys. That concludes UFC Kansas City. If you made it this far, appreciate you watching. Click that subscribe button. Do me a favor. Like the video, comment, share it. Do the thing. Again, Patreon is free. Links in the description. Get my bets when I place them. I already have a couple bets, and the odds have gone crazy the other way, right? If you had followed my Patreon, which is free, you would have got that bet in at some great odds, okay? So go check it out. It's free. Links in the description. Let's make some freaking money this week, okay? I'm super excited for this card. Not all the fights, but most of the fights are pretty dang good. Especially that main event, man. Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates. Ooh, gonna be sweet. Young Pasty, out. See you later.